Howdy team, hope you're all well. I thought I'd drop in and just give you a quick update on being tested positive for COVID. You know, my wife actually, what was it, probably 10 or so days ago, actually it'd been 9 days, because she comes out of isolation tomorrow. So my wife actually 9 days ago said to me, oh, my taste is going. I can't taste any food or anything like that. And you know, that was kind of about lunchtime. And then by dinner time, when we had dinner and we had a Thai takeaway, she literally, I cannot taste this. And she dived online and went and had booked a test. And then Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, went and had the test, and then woke up Monday morning to positive results. And immediately the whole family went into isolation and everything else. You know, we had the calls from the NHS and everything else. And then on Wednesday, so roughly, 6 days ago now, 7 days ago now, Wednesday I started to feel like I'd got a cold. I don't know if you can hear it in me. I'm definitely got sinusy and a bit nasally. But I said, I feel like I'm getting a cold. And, you know, had she not have had a positive COVID test, I probably wouldn't have thought anything about it. But on the basis that she had, when I woke up Thursday morning, I actually got a text message from the NHS saying, oh, you need to go for a COVID test because you've come into contact with somebody who has had, a positive test, obviously my wife. So I then trotted down to last Thursday, trotted down to wherever the local test centre was, drive-through one, did the swab, stuck it up my nose. God, that makes you gag like anything, trying to put a little stick on your tonsils. It's awful. But had it got to Friday, by Thursday, I was definitely feeling like I was starting to get a cold. And had the NHS not messaged me and said, go and get yourself checked out, go and have a test, I probably would have booked one myself. Because by Thursday, I was definitely starting to feel it a wee bit. And, obviously back then, 5 or so days ago, the consideration was all about Christmas. The intention was to spend the time with my mum and dad, who are in their late 70s, and not wanting to pass it on to anyone was, the main key thing. And particularly with my wife being a hairdresser, that's why she really wanted to go and have one done. One, because my parents are in our bubble in terms of looking after the kids, but two, she's a hairdresser. So not wanting to spread it or risk it or anything else. Long story short is I went and had a test on Thursday, requested by the NHS. I would have gone and done it on Friday anyway. I actually requested by the county. And I would have made sure that, I could have had that test, no problem at all. So I ended up getting my results on Friday evening, maybe Saturday. And it came back and said, you're positive. And by that point, I was definitely starting to feel like I'd got a cold. And I feel like I'm really one of the lucky ones, because now we're obviously Tuesday, and losing track of these days with all the lockdowns and everything else. I'm now at that point where I definitely feel like I've got a cold. And over the last 3 days, so we're Tuesday today, Monday and Sunday, I have been able to train in the gym, or in the gym. I say in the garage because we're not allowed to train in gyms. So I am definitely one of the lucky ones, but I think there might be some reasons behind that. And it's only my perception. I'm not medically trained or anything else, but when it came on Wednesday, had the mention of COVID not have been mentioned, I wouldn't have thought anything more than a cold. By Friday, it was definitely my rest day from working out. And I took that and had that. Actually, no, Saturday would have been my rest day. For God's sake, I'm losing such track of dates. But I was able to, on Sunday, carry on and do a gentle spin for 70 minutes on my spin bike in the shed. I was then able to work out yesterday and do a bit of upper body. Today, I did a bit of lower body legs, dynamic movement, stretching, etc., so on and so forth. And I've been able to do that. Now, it is harder than it normally would be, without a shadow of a doubt. But if I hadn't have only felt like I got a cold, if COVID wasn't around, I wouldn't feel like I've got anything more than a cold. So I do feel very lucky and very fortunate. But whether this plays a big part or not, I've read and heard that vitamin D plays a massive part in, how susceptible you are to COVID. I've always, probably for the last 2, maybe 3 years, used the spray which I bought on Amazon, which is 1000 IU vitamin D spray. I use a B12 spray, I take a multivitamin, I have olive oil, fish oil capsule every day, I take a greens drink in the morning, I eat healthy, I train regularly, I exercise, I'm not overweight or obese or anything along those kind of lines. So they're proven factors. Although my friends know friends who are, bodybuilders or weightlifters or into exercise who have been massively hit by this, and they're fit and healthy individuals. So it's amazing and insane how this virus and COVID can hit everybody completely differently. I've been able to carry on work yesterday completely normally. Did a couple of hours as always over the course of the weekend, and I've got a full day ahead of me without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, it's a really, really interesting one. If anything, I've got the cold sweats. When you have a cold, as disgusting as that sounds, you feel a bit clammy, and in the nighttime you get kind of night sweats and whatnot. That's basically what I've had. So it's really, really weird, and I feel very, very fortunate and very, very lucky to be riding this out in the way in which I am. Tomorrow will be my 7th day or 8th day since I felt symptoms of a cold, basically. Saturday the 26th will be my last day in isolation, although, the government has at least taken Christmas out of my hands, and wanting to spend it with my family has at least taken the fear of going out and doing all the little bits and bobs that we need to, to see friends, family, go to the gym, etc. All of that's been taken out of our hands at any point in time. But I thought I would just share my experience of it, the things that I have done and am doing. I feel very fortunate and very lucky that I can still train and exercise, and I'm just taking it easy, or easier, because I do train 3 days on, 1 day off. I always have done. I've definitely some days done 6-day weeks, which I think is just too much for me. I'm too knackered by the end of it. But I hope in some way, shape or form, whether you experience it now or in the future, you get it in the same way that I have, where it's manageable, where you can carry on being a business owner, where you can still lead your team, where you can do everything that you need to do in order to, carry on living a normal life to a degree. So thanks very much indeed for tuning in, for watching. I would love to know what your experience is of having had or fear of getting COVID, because there's definitely more and more people getting it now, which you can't tell your ass from your elbow when it comes to the government and all of this shite, can we? Tier 23 and 53 different strains of the same frickin' thing. Everybody's getting it even more. It's very, very odd. I know a few people from comments that we've had are, experiencing it in much worse ways than me. Some very similar ways to me. But remember one thing as well, just from a bit of an observation, and some of you may have seen this. If you haven't, then it's worth going to have a look at on my Facebook profile, because I talk about social media a lot, and we schedule a lot of my social media posts throughout the week on my page on a Monday. And one of the posts that was scheduled for either Saturday or Sunday, I think it was Sunday, was a picture from about 4 or 5 weeks ago of me and the family on the beach in Mersey. And it said on there, moments to cherish. And some idiot decided to comment saying, I've lost all respect for you, being out and about, gloating and boasting that you're out at the seaside today when you posted this morning that you've got COVID. So are you a freaking moron? Apart from the fact that safety, security, family, caring for others is one of my highest values, and this is somebody who knew me personally since 2016, remember that actually, if you look at that post, there's been massive assumptions made, and we are in tense times, and everything is a little bit scary and fearful, and people's brains and mindsets are in a funny place. But it doesn't hurt to be kind, and it doesn't hurt to ask a question. At no point does that post say today. It was actually a reflection post where on Monday I was sitting there thinking about things last week that would be really nice to do, and a beat day at the seaside at the present time is a bloody moment to cherish, and one that I wish we could go and take advantage of, but we can't because we're in tier 4 lockdown and can't go nowhere. So just remember, if you see something on social media, be kind. Don't be a douchebag and try and comment on people's posts and call them out and dig them out without first inquiring as to what is actually going on and actually making assumptions off of the back of something that has been put out. Because you never know what's going on for anybody behind the scenes. And if you make your own interpretations without first asking questions, that says more about you than it does about anybody else. And you're more than welcome to go and check out that post and pass your own comment. But just remember, everybody has got shit going on at the moment. I'm very lucky in the way in which I am dealing with this COVID situation and the way in which the cards have been dealt towards me. But be kind. As I say to my kids all the time, manners cost nothing. Being nice costs nothing. So just be aware of the comments, the likes, the support, the digging people out without actually first digging into a little bit more detail. Luckily, I've been in this social media world since 2016 and I've got broad shoulders and I know that there's going to be idiots out there. But make sure that you are being kind, because other people are a little bit more sensitive to these type of things than I am. And quite rightly, as Natalie said, make sure that you are checking in with your staff, your friends, your family, as many people as you possibly can. Because certainly, my parents have been in our bubble. They're not seeing anybody at all. And we're going to do a digital Christmas day. We're going to get the iPad out. It's going to be on all day long. They're going to be at Christmas lunch with us. They're going to open presents with us and all these kind of things. It's not the same, but it's the best of a bad situation. So, yeah, I suppose the summary of this post is, thank God I'm feeling the way that I am. But all in all, just be kind to other people, because everybody experiences things in different ways, in different severities, and your interpretation can sometimes, affect other people behind the scenes. Have a fantastic day. Remember, now's the time to become pro.